Okay, so if you're not following me on Instagram, you totally should, because then you'd be up to date with this. And if you've been following me, then you already know the situation. It's a pretty sad but sort of funny, but not really funny one. So my Instagram is always in the description down below and at the beginning of all of my videos in case you want to follow me there. Okay, so this is the Kokuyo Jibun Techo, and there are two styles and two different sizes. The first style is called the 3-in-1, and they consider it a system. And the system consists of 3 notebooks. And this one is just the planner portion. This is called the BIZ. Then there are 2 sizes. First you get the A5 Slim, which this one is. And then you get the B6 Slim, which is a little bit shorter and a little bit more narrow. I was totally about the A5 Slim because this year I purchased a Hobonichi and I was like, okay, we're going to do this and we're going to possibly combine them in a cover or something. I knew that they were pretty much the same height and just a little bit more narrow. I think they're exactly the same height. It's just that the cover makes it seem like it's taller. It's really not. I will take the cover off later to kind of compare and make sure. I was not really feeling the Jibun Techo at all. It looked like it was very colorful and super busy, so I was like, that's a pass for me. And this was like a monthly and a weekly, and I was really looking for those dailies that you find in the Hobonichi. But then I saw a video, and then of course I went and searched for more, of the BIZ version, which is a little bit more monochrome than the 3-in-1, which is more colorful. And at first I didn't even know what it was. I was like, what is this planner? I have to have it. Come to find out, it actually is the Jibun Techo, but it's the BIZ version that's monochrome. I did not know that that's not the only difference between the two. So the 3-in-1 starts in November, which I thought they all started in November. So I was super excited because yesterday was November 2nd and I was like, okay, I can start this. I've only got to backtrack like one day. It's going to be awesome. Oh, no, 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 no. So the BIZ version starts in December. What? Mind blown, heartbroken. So I was all set and ready to use this planner as soon as I opened it. Come to find out, I can't use it for another month. It is what it is. So I've decided to go back to my Leuchtturm 1917. This is the A6 version, or the pocket version, soft cover. And I think I only used like, I don't know, probably a 1/4 of it before like I gave up in September. So I'm just going to use this for a month until I can move into here, and it's fine. I'm going to let it go. Okay, so let's get started looking into this guy. So first of all, it came in this plastic, and that's how I knew that it was December. I saw this little sticker and I saw the 12 and I was like, no. At this point, I was like under the illusion that maybe different colors of the BIZ started at different times, but that's not true. All of the BIZ start in December and all of the 3-in-1s start in November. So I was heart crushed, but then I felt better because then at least, you know, it's not like I had to figure out how to send this back and get a different BIZ with the November start. I was really upset with Jet Pens. They kind of don't show it very well on their website. It basically just shows the cover like this, and they show the 3-in-1. And unless you read the fine print, which I don't read the fine print, I know I should, we probably all should, then you find out that it says that it's a December start, and it's very clear in the description, but I didn't feel the need to read that. So whatever. Let's start with the cover. So like I mentioned, many things are different between the BIZ version and the 3-in-1 version. The first difference is the 3-in-1 gives you the planner, which is this. It gives you a life book, and then it gives you one of the idea books. And so it's like a whole system ready to go. Whereas with the BIZ, you have to buy everything separately, but you can purchase the idea books separately. They come 2 to a pack. And then you can also purchase the life book. Now I decided not to buy the life book because it's not a dated system. It's just like a book of collections that you can fill out about your life at any time. So I was like, I don't even know if I'll use this. So let's just save that for later. And then maybe I'll get it if this is something that works out for me. I also didn't want to buy any of the accessories because I was like, I don't know if I'm even going to use this, so let's not put more money into it than we need to. This was $40. I think it was like $41. And then a pack of 2 of these is like $10. So $50 right away. Now, the first difference is the outside cover. It has sort of a, like, it's a plastic feel, but I think they were trying to go for like a faux leather, which, I mean, it's nice. It's opaque. So unlike the 3-in-1 that has the clear cover, this one, you can't switch out the paper to change different colors, which I'm okay with. It has a pocket in the front like the 3-in-1, but there's no pocket in the back. So the pocket in the back in the 3-in-1 is for the writing board that also comes with the system. Now, I didn't mind having the writing board because, like I've mentioned in other videos, I never use my writing board, especially for my Traveler's Company notebooks. So it was whatever, but there is a strap on the writing board that helps keep this closed. So if I'm going to take this just as is, I might have to think about how I'm going to keep it closed so that it doesn't open in my purse and bend the paper. So something to be thinking about when you're making decisions. On the inside, you get 1, 2, 3 card slots, and then of course you can use this to stuff stuff in. And then on the back, you get a difference between the 3-in-1 and this one. There's 3 more card slots. This one only has 1, and it's kind of like awkwardly angled for, like, I don't know, business cards or something. And then you get a pen loop in here, which you do not in the 3-in-1. So that is a plus. I believe everything in the beginning here is just like the same. The only difference on the inside is the color scheme. So they start by giving you an index of all of the collections they've already pre-made for you, which is sort of awesome because as a lazy planner, I really don't like drawing this stuff out. Then they show you how you can set up your week. This is super busy. And I'm just like, I don't know if I'm going to get that much in here, but it's really nice that they gave this to you. And I believe that JetPens gives you an English version if you want to check that out. Then you have your years at a glance, because remember, this is for Japanese businessmen. So apparently they need to look back at 2018. I, not so much. But I like this is a lot cleaner already than the 3-in-1 that has like more of a, I don't know, it's like a robotic looking like text. It's very like digital clock looking. This is very clean, which I appreciate. And then this you can use, of course, for tracking. I like to keep my weight on something that's small like this because I have, you know, kind of average to big handwriting and I can't fit much in there. Maybe other people can, but this starts in January, even though this is a December start, which is interesting. And I don't know, I mean, I know that I'm a lazy planner, but I'm not sure that I'm this lazy that I need to know exactly how old people are without doing the math. But you know, whatever. My dreams, money plan. What are my money plans? To spend it. So I don't know that I'm gonna get much use out of that. Then they give you this, which is really cool. So this is like a free, see, it doesn't have like any of the dates on the top. So one of the suggestions when I was like devastated that this started in December and not in November, one of my Instagram followers suggested that I could, you know, print something out like this and go ahead and use it for November, which I thought was super smart. So this would be a really good one to use. Basically, they gave this to you so that you can, like, you know, mock up your ideal week at a glance, or you could use it just to kind of practice how you want to fit things in before having to actually use it, which is sort of awesome. So I thought about printing this out and using it for all of November, but then I was like, okay, here's the thing. As a planner, I get really bored and I get burned out. So I was really scared if I use this for a whole month before it actually started, by the time it actually does start, I might be over it. You know what I'm saying? I'm just like fickle that way. So then you get pages like this that I don't find useful, but I mean, it's Japanese made, so I understand why they'd have their country in here. Favorite phrases, and I love this because you can do one for each month or just all of them that you can think of until you fill out the page. Recommendations list. Okay, so a lot of times the recommendations that I have are for books. Certainly there's restaurants and other thing, but it's mostly for books. I don't think I'm going to be keeping anything for books in here, which is concerning because they do give you a book list. So I might end up washi taping this and using it for something else, which is kind of cool. So you can still, you know, kind of make this fit whatever you need. Like whatever your needs are, you could probably make this fit. And I think it's really interesting that they're very into these faces here. Very interesting, instead of like, you know, 5 stars or whatever. Movie list. Now this is really cool. I would totally use that. Gifts received. Again, this is something I'd probably cover with washi and put something else here. Then we have a promise list. So if, like, for me, for instance, if my niece's school was having a big sale and I promised that I would bring muffins, then that's something I guess I could put here. I don't know. That to me is more like a task. So again, I think that I would cover this and use it for something else. But you do you. Then you get a free one, which you can go ahead and put whatever you'd like here, which I would prefer to have these throughout all of them. That would make me a little more happier, but you know, again, very nice. Then we start here with some definite tracking, and it starts, of course, in December. But I really like, again, how monochrome this is. Now, with Japanese planners, they usually have Sundays in red. And in this planner, they also have Saturdays as color in blue. And yeah, that's true. And I just like that it's very clean and it's very subtle. Whereas the 3-in-1, it like I think every day of the week gets a different color. And it was just like super overtly bright. And I was like, ah, I don't know why I was like so offended by it, but I was like, no, that's not for me. But this, I mean, definitely is lovely. So here, if you don't notice, you have like, here's gray, here's white, gray, white, gray, but within each of the grays, there's 2 lines. So if you write really big, like I do, you could probably take this whole space up just for one task. Like I could put Instagram all the way across, or you could put Instagram and YouTube on the gray. So it just depends. There's 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, 18, 20, 22, 24. Now, if you're like me and you like to kick it up a notch, you can also use these ones here and these ones here, which gives you an extra either 2 or 4. And you can write in like Instagram here, and you can just mark off lightly with a highlighter or a pencil or a pen, whatever you want to do, that you did them every day. So you can always have a little bit more space in that way. So this starts in December 2018, a year before the new year of 2019, and it goes January of 2020. So this gives you a month before 2019 and a month after 2019. Then the monthlies start in December, and I'm just like not a super fan of how big the boxes are. I mean, they're nice, but I prefer for them to be a little bit smaller. I think they do that because of the little icons here, or the emojis, whichever you'd like to call it. I'm not a fan of those either, because I'm assuming what you do here is you can say that you had a great day, a meh day, or a not so good day. Because I have anxiety disorder, I am very used to the chemicals in my brain making me a little bipolar. And I've worked on it through diet and exercise, that I'm a little bit more, you know, steady. But a lot of times throughout the day, my mood changes. So I don't know how well I would ever use those. So we'll see how I adapt those, if anything. I don't know. Off to the side, you have 26 check boxes. I believe that's what I counted. And down at the bottom, you have some, which is kind of cute. So for every column, you end up having 2. So if there's like something specific on Mondays you really want to get done, like let's say on Mondays, a certain restaurant that you love is open and you want to go there, you put it down here and you could just like do it in columns. Or it could just be extra check boxes. It's fine. I like that they give you a month at a glance so that you can see January when you're planning. I'm not so excited about having the actual month that you're in down here or the month before. But again, these are things I would adapt into like maybe trackers. There's certainly space up here at the top or at the bottom to write something. So if you wanted to track your running down here, and since this has 31 days, just add 31 because this is November and it only has 30 days. You could totally do that. It's very nice. So it starts in December. Remember, this is the BIZ. I don't want to get people confused because I was just like so devastated. It's hilarious. Such a noob, guys. And then it goes until March of 2020. So you get the whole year plus 1, 2, 3 months extra. And then we start into the weeks. And this is really what the Jibun Techo is known for. The fact that it has weeks, and that people are saying it's even cooler than the layout in the hobo. So let me show you what the layout in the hobo looks like to remind you, or in case you are not familiar. It's very clean. This is why I love the Hobonichi. Now it starts at 5 o'clock and goes to 4 o'clock. So you do get like the full time, but it's a little different than what they do here. So let me show you here. So you definitely get some space up here. You get some icons so that you can track your weather for the day, which is cool. And then you have some space down here to write something, anything. Maybe these are like 2 tasks that you really want to get done for the day. And then it starts at 0 and it goes from 24. I've been told in other videos that this is sunrise and sunset, which is kind of cool. I am not sure. I mean, for most people, we're sleeping, right? I mean, I personally am trying to sleep during these times up here. So I think up here, I will definitely be putting like my daily tasks. And then here, where again, I'm probably sleeping, I can put more daily tasks and just focus on this section that's lighter. Maybe further down to like 18 or 19, which is like 6 and 7 o'clock. I would probably use these times to go ahead and use the actual times I'm doing things or scheduling things. For the most part though, I think I might change it up. I have been in the past using in here. Okay, so in my bullet journal, I have been doing something like this, where I do a column for the week of appointments, YouTube, and then writing. So I'm thinking about possibly ignoring the time on the side, and where it's already blocked off, putting like YouTube, and then where it's blocked off again, putting Instagram, and then blocked off here for writing, and then blocked off here for like just regular appointments, which is kind of cool. So I might change it up week to week. It just depends. But I think, I don't know, I might go ahead and try this out as it's traditionally meant to be used before I change it up. We'll see how it goes. And then again, they're really loving these icons that you could probably use for whatever. Like you could just pretend that they're tick boxes if you don't really care. Then down here, you have like morning, midday, and then evening. So this is where people are saying that they put like breakfast, lunch, and dinner. Mine are a little bit more complex because I am trying to count carbs in sort of most of the time. So I don't know that this is going to be space for me to actually write what I ate and then how many calories I had, which again, I could use it that way. I could use this for breakfast, lunch, dinner, and then snacks. So you can use this any way you want, as long as you can, you know, ignore the fact that the times are here. Sometimes people just can't get over that. It's like a mental block, like it is for me in the Hobonichi weeks. I'm telling you that memo page to the right, I just always see that line and I can't seem to write over it. It drives me crazy. Anyway, but yeah, so that's really nice. And then they also give you over here a month at a glance. And so this happens to be like, okay, so this is November and then December starts. So they give you both calendars instead of just one. So you'll see here where it's only December, they give you just the one. So you definitely get like an extra couple of tick boxes on this page, whereas they take a couple away from you here. But if you have a dark enough pen, you could just write over this, you know, no worries. But again, this is also another space where you can track things because you have a little calendar there. So yay me, I get to use this in November for a few days at least, for about 5 days. And then it goes from November 26th. And then it gives you, yeah, the first week of January. So there is that. And then in the center here, they give you 2 bookmarks. And we all know that I'm not a fan of bookmarks, but they give you a navy one and a red one. And I don't know why, I like these colors together. I guess because I'm American and I'm used to it. I don't know, but they're lovely. And this is also kind of American also. I didn't even realize that before. Primary colors, I'm liking that. Okay, anyway, and it really actually matches with this kind of maroon colored cover. So that's nice. I really like that actually. Okay, and so I should say, like the Hobonichi, it does give you like the little boxes on the end here so that you can see them. This does have tabs, but again, I didn't want to get any of the accessories. Plus, I've learned from having Hobonichis with the little tabs, like the weekly tabs, that they kind of get in your way when you're trying to flip through. So if I put any tabs, it'll definitely be probably on the top instead of on the side, because I like to thumb through and I think it's quicker. But like the monthlies like this, where you get 2, because this is obviously 1 month and then the second month starts, they do that also on the side to let you know, hey, this has 2 months on this page, which is kind of cool. Then after the weeklies, we get 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So we get 8 grid pages, and I believe there's less in the 3-in-1. And then a look back on 2019, and you get 1 for each month, and there's actually 4 lines on here, unless you have big handwriting and you choose to count this as 1 and 2. That I actually might use. And then, you know, personal data. So we should talk about the paper. So the Life book has the same paper as the BIZ, which is this, I think it's the Kokuyo Mio paper, and it says in the description that it's supposed to be fast drying paper that takes fountain pen, ballpoint pen, and gel pen very nicely, which is why I wanted to try this also, besides the fact that it's very monochrome, because I'm telling you, with the Tomoe River paper, I just like, I can't handle it with my gel pens because I smear like crazy. I like to do my planning on my bed at night on my belly because, you know, I have back issues. So my sitting time is meant for writing and making YouTube videos. And I usually plan laying down. And so I just make a hot mess out of the paper. So I'm hoping that my gel pens will work better on here. I will try to put a swatch at the end of this, or a clip after this. So you can see how it takes the mild liners, because that's like my one concern. Videos I've seen, it looks like it's fine. Plus, with this paper, there's not going to be ridiculous amounts of ghosting like there is with the Tomoe River paper. You don't get the bleed through, but you do get a lot of ghosting. The paper feels extremely smooth. That's how people describe it. It feels like it's coated. That's like the best way I can describe it. It feels coated with something, and it feels like your pen would just like ice skate across the page. It's lovely. Okay, it's the next day. I'm just going to throw this into the video somewhere, either at the end or somewhere. Anyway, so tracking. I am horrible at tracking. I'm very excited for this to start because I think that this might be the thing that helps me continuously track things, because I find that when I track things, I learn a lot and it is important. So yes, I hope that that happens here. All right, so I also forgot to mention that in the weeklies, they have the phases of the moon right there, which is pretty awesome, especially like you can see here, the full moon. If you're following tarot or anything like that, which I did start at one point and I fell off and I really need to get back into because it's awesome. And then at the end here, I did do a pen test. Let me zoom in. And I found that the only thing that bled through, here are all of the different brands that I used, was the Sharpie, of course. You can see here that the Pentel Touch, which is this guy right here, there was definitely the most ghosting with that, but I press really hard because I'm not the best, but not bleed through. So that's awesome. And then I was testing the mile liners here. I started with the golden one, but I always use the red one because it bleeds the most. No issues there. And then this is the friction light and the friction ball. So I just wanted to see how it erases on this paper. So it erases okay. But if you can see here, it kind of like warps the page a little bit. So I don't know if I'm going to be using this in here. It does that a little bit, I think, in the on the Tomoe River paper, but I don't think as badly. We'll see how I feel about that later. Then quickly, I have a Muji pen here, and I was already trying it out. And I was just kind of like trying to test the smear smearage. So look at, just barely, I'm telling you, this thing smears so badly for me in the Tomoe River paper. I had to stop using it, even in my Leuchtturm. If I barely like move something like that, it's everywhere. So I am loving that. I mean, look at that. You don't even need a Sarasa Dry, which is like a dry acting ink in here, because you can just use your regular gel pen and it doesn't do anything. This one doesn't move at all. That's amazing. So these are excellent pens, especially if you want to try to use them on the river paper. And then what was the other gel pen I had? Oh, I like to use a High-Tech C, and some of these gel pens, they're all almost similar, and then some of them act weird. It just depends on the brand. Also, again, nothing. So I am very excited about this paper. Go team. And then I have to give props to my niece Jade, who made me this lovely banana muffin, and they're so nummy. I will leave the link to the video down below in case you want to check it out. You'll thank me later. I did want to say that I did buy the idea books, and I'm not a super fan of these because it has the same layout as that damn Weekly with Memo by Hobonichi. You see how it has this line, and I don't know why I have this mental thing about it. I have to always write on the right side. I can't just like write across it. I don't know why. But this is wider, so I think it's going to be okay. But my friend Danny had sent me one of these in the B6 Slim when I had a traveler's notebook that size, and I used it, and like for some reason, I don't know, it just worked. It worked fine, and I was okay. Since this paper is wider, I think it might be all right. And this does have the Tomoe River paper in it. Very thin, it's going to ghost, but it's going to hold a lot of different mediums. So this is meant to be a companion. This is one of the 3-in-1s. So this is the planner, and this is the second one. And then again, you get the life book. And you're meant to just slide them in like so. So this is the same kind of system that the Hobonichi has. So here you have the Hobo, and then you get like these little companion books that you can buy that are just slightly shorter and more narrow, so they fit in here. So whatever cover you use, you can just have these separately. So if you're someone who likes to have monthlies and you like to have weeklies, you're not so great about the dailies, you can get idea books to use as your dailies. And you get these little squares in the corners so that you can color code or put numbers for like a bullet journal, which is sort of cool, if I can just get over that line. The only other issue I have with this is that the squares are 4mm and it's really small for my tiny writing. And again, you can write bigger, but I'm like one of those people who feels like restricted by lines. I don't know what my problem is, but you can certainly go ahead and make an insert yourself to fit in here. You can just get the measurements off of jet pens. Don't feel like you have to buy this, especially if you're like me and you're not like the biggest fan of the size or the line, the, you know, layout of the paper. So what I also have here is this. This is my favorite. I spilled something on here, but this is Moleskine, and I usually get a pack of 3 of these from Amazon. I have several of them because this last year I used a wide for my writing notebook. So this one is aligned, but they come in blank and they also come in square grid. And I wanted to see if it could fit in here if I decided that these notebooks were not for me. Obviously they're going to be thicker because the Tomoe River paper keeps this very, you know, slim. But I wanted to see. So this is the exact same height. It's just a smidge wider. And I'm gonna try it out. I'm just gonna try it. I don't know why I have this on here. Okay. Let's see. Okay, it's sliding in there. Nicey nice. Okay, so you can see here that it's a little too wide, but since I used to cut these down and put them into my standard, I could slice it down a little bit so it fits in here and use my lines because I love my lines. So that's kind of cool. I'm excited about that. It's a bummer that it's a little bit too wide, but I can make it work because obviously the cover fits in so I don't have to slice the top off, which is nice. And then this year I also used this planner for my writing, and this was by Midori. And they say that this, I think, is an A5 Slim. And so I wanted to see, because I didn't mind carrying this at all, but it is, but the BIZ is wider than this. So I feel like this fit perfectly in the wide I had, the Chic Sparrow one. So this is definitely going to stick out, I think, of any wide that you choose to put it in. So just be aware of that. I certainly don't want to do that because I want to get away from different sizes of traveler's notebooks. I sold mine so that I'm only in standard. I do want to get a different cover that probably can house this and my Hobonichi in the same place. We'll see how that goes. Now, the last thing is I want to remove this and see how it looks naked. Just in the nude. Oh, I like that. So I was afraid that like if this was a junky cover or I didn't like the color because I was really had my heart set on black, but I don't mind it now because it does match the inside. This is how it looks. And you can see that the spine is square, and that's just because it's sewn and that it can lay perfectly flat. Isn't that amazing? I love that. Japanese planners, they're just the best. Okay, so there's that. And I just wanted to take this apart because I wanted to show you next to the Hobonichi. And this is the A5 Avec, by the way. I just wanted to see, yep, see, it's exactly the same height. It's just that cover that makes it look like it's uber tall, and it's not. So that is great. And then you see here, I don't have my ruler next to me, darn it, I took it out of my desk. So it looks about 3/4 of an inch wider. So it's, wow, it's a lot wider than I thought. But I love the way this looks without the cover also. And I could put washi on the side if I wanted to and jazz it up. Yay. I loved her desk, and I asked her where she bought it from because, you know, all these people seem to have like the same wooden desk. And she told me it was contact paper, and I was like, what? And so I bought contact paper from Amazon. This was literally the cheapest one out of like the wood ones. And so I just purchased that one. And I put it on here, and it was pretty awesome. And there's definitely several tutorials on YouTube. If you just put on cover desk with contact paper, they'll pop up. And it was pretty easy and awesome. And thank you to my boyfriend who helped me with this. So we have like a new background. Yay team. All right. So that has been my video. I'm very excited about this. I am currently looking for covers. I have a couple ideas in mind. We'll see when I get them because I'm all out of monies right now. So who knows what I will do. But if you have ideas for covers for this, let me know down below and I will check them out. All right, so don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. I hope that this was helpful. Thanks for watching, and I'll talk to you soon. Bye.